Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to the Tony and Dakota podcast. Today, we got some very, 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 very special guests, and it is not the L in LTD, but there is multiple people.
This is Seth Dawson and Luis Benitez. They share the office with LTD Property Group, and we've done some deals with them. We've played some ping pong with them. I pretend to fight them occasionally. Our good friends, Seth and Luis.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks.
Gracias.
This is our second time doing the intro, but it's gonna be okay because we got it now.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, guys. So first thing we want to know, how did you guys even meet each other? And then explain your guys' relationship, because that's what we just learned now. So explain your guys' relationship roles and then kind of what you guys both do, how you met.
I guess I could tell you how we met. I guess in high school I dated his sister, Skylar, and we weren't that good of friends, I guess, initially. And he was a year above me, so we didn't share any classes together. But I'd say I grew closer with him maybe 2 years down knowing his sister, dating her, 16, 17. That's when we started kind of hanging out around each other, seeing more of each other.
Did you not like him? Was it one of those
he's like brother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like a brother.
Was it like that though in the beginning, or was it like, oh, you're dating my sister, you better watch out?
No, dude.
No.
Oh, it wasn't like
That's
that.
not me.
Oh.
I'm like, have fun.
Nice. All right, and then so how did you guys even decide to start getting a wholesaling? Did you decide first,
Yeah.
and then you're like, hey, Luis, you want to help me out with this kind of stuff?
Actually, I don't know. I think I was doing electrical, and then I asked him about wholesaling.
I knew about wholesaling. He had watched videos. I didn't know much about it. In 2018, was interested in real estate. I actually bought Ty Lopez's course.
Oh wow.
Yeah, for wholesaling. It is the most garbage trash ever. It was like, so wholesaling is where you buy a house for less than it's worth, and then you sell it to somebody, and you can put up signs in yards. Here's where you can order them. Bam.
Well, you know what wholesaling course is not trash?
Pace more.
Stay tuned for it.
I'll just roll the clip right there.
Yeah, exactly. Have you been thinking about investing in real estate?
It's not like what you see on HGTV.
We created a course to show you how to really invest and create a profitable flipping and wholesaling business.
We give you marketing strategies like how to pull lists, who we target, and where we find the money.
We go over sales, which includes live calls and negotiations, scripts, role-playing, and so much more.
Everything that you need to know to flip houses is in this course. And if there's anything that we missed, we will create a video to answer your specific question.
This knowledge has made us over $1 million, and we're selling it today for just $997. Click the link below.
So no, it was garbage. So that was my idea of wholesaling, and then I had a friend who was a real estate agent at the time, and he was having some success, and I had no idea of what I was going to do, just that business, right? And so I was interested in real estate, and so I asked him, I was like, hey, what do I have to do to become a real estate agent? And I went and took the course, joined the American Dream Team as a real estate agent, and was blessed to be mentored by Mick. And so I had asked Mick, though, my team leader, owner of the company there, what he knew about wholesaling, and he's like, oh, don't do that. That's what the bad guys do. Bad guys do the wholesaling. Which, and to be fair enough, there's been plenty of bad guys that have done bad things. So that's what he was aware of, though. So that's what I knew of. So then for the next 2 years, I just went pedal to metal, nose to the grindstone as a real estate agent. And I think I did 52 houses, mostly buyers in my first year. And I think I did 50 the next year. And by the time I got to year 2, I was so sick and tired of driving all over the place and catering to people's emotions. And, I'd probably, write 20 to 30 offers, get 10 of them accepted. And that's probably being generous. I probably wrote more than that. And so it's just so much work. I didn't see scalability in it, and even if I like wanted to scale in as a real estate agent, it required things I wasn't willing to do. Like, you know, the amount of energy that would be required to be put into a team is not proportionate to the amount of rewards that I can get back out of it, or the long-term scalability. And if I wanted to open a brokerage, like, it just starts getting messy, and it's like, why would I even be interested in that? And so at that time, he had been watching some videos, I think, on wholesaling, and so he like was like, hey, what is this? And I had a lead that was from real estate sales, and I was like, let's just go get a contract. I was like, let's go do it. And so then we did it. Like, first seller that I had right there, we went, it was on Rudisill, locked it up at
50? No, it was like
38,
okay, 40.
40, something like that.
That's what you guys offered, 50.
Really?
Yeah, you guys offered 50.
Oh, in 07.
Yeah, you
no,
guys.
Yes,
came
I
in
remember that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I think we sold it for like 70 or something.
Wow.
And we were using it as an office at the time because I had a retail real estate team, which he was on, and I had 2 others on the team as well. And so then at that time, I was starting to explore wholesaling. We had one success right there. I wholetailed that one.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was about
really-
to say. Is like, I don't think you guys wholesaled that. I think you
No.
listed it.
Yeah, we did. And so, in fact, it could even be considered it was like a light flip because we did some paint and a
Yep.
couple other things.
So who did anybody else make you guys an offer on that? And like actually like give you a legit offer? Because that's the thing that we always find with wholesaling too, is that like most of the time you can tell who's legit and who's not by if somebody's even going to offer you a number.
Did they?
I don't think so. It was just all retail buyers that.
Yeah.
Except for us. We gave you a
except for
number.
guys. Yep.
And you
I
guys
don't-
would have been profitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we even shopped it that much.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
I don't think we did.
Yeah. I mean, like I had no idea what we were doing. I think that I got a contract. I don't know. Was it your guys' contract? Somewhere I got a contract. It might have been from you.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then because at that time, like Tony, what I knew of you guys was I just had like respect for you because I met you when I first joined the retail team, and you were doing that for a little bit, and like I was just watching you as I was in my retail career, you guys just blowing up, and like how much you guys are present on social media, and you have been the whole time, and so like you have like a community of people who are rooting for you, which I always thought was so cool.
But Mick, he thought we were the bad guys. No, I was kidding.
Yeah, you weren't the bad guys. I always knew that you guys aren't the bad guys. Yeah, so that was what I knew of you. I'd talk with Tony. We'd have like hour-long conversations every once in a while just about like various things, and you'd like always be helpful. And so then next deal was
Kendallville.
yeah, and so without like saying too much about this because it's a can of worms I don't want to like reopen, so you know.
Yeah.
That's when we started having a lot of fun. And you know what? That was actually also not a wholesale deal. That was
I remember. Yeah, I remember
that was
that
a.
one. You guys brought that one to us too.
We did.
Yeah.
That was a partnership that we
Yep.
did with Fort Wayne Investor.
Yep. We weren't doing too much in Kendallville at that time.
It was a mess. It was a big mess, and one that like literally until like 6 months ago was still haunting me.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah, because the seller was like messaging me on Facebook. Like we had a really messy agreement with them where like there was supposed to be percentage of profit that
Oh
that
my
went
gosh.
back to the seller. And so the problem was that you know the investor that we partnered with on that. This was honestly my fault. I had no idea what we were doing, but the expectations that were set with how we were going to like split up these percentages, not clear at all. And so she's messaging me, and she's also definitely druggy, and it was just a really like sad situation where it was like man, like even if we do give her money, like she's gonna go like
Yeah.
And I had met the seller's daughter, and she had she's like a 2-year-old with cerebral palsy, and she'd like abandoned her daughter, and like her kids weren't there for him. Her parents were taking care of him. It was just like a holy crap. And so like right from the beginning, that's looking back now, that's a lot of what we see in wholesale. Is
Yeah.
like, people that are in deep holes that they dug themselves into. And he actually found that one on Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
Facebook Market.
Free lead.
And yeah, it was complicated. We had a lot of trips up there. We finally worked something out. But I mean, this house was in like rough condition.
Yeah.
The electric company took the meter off because they kept on reconnecting the power. It was in a decent neighborhood, like next to a school. Like you wouldn't expect it, but there's a bunch of junkies living inside the house. And
Was it on Garden?
yeah,
So close to high school?
It was a newer house, too. It was like 2000s.
Nice.
Early
Wow.
2000s, yeah.
I didn't even know they built houses that
Yeah.
new on Garden Street.
yeah, it was like it was not bad at all. It was
Wow.
not bad at all. But yeah, so that was messy. So that was my second example of a wholesale deal, and we didn't get paid for probably 6 to 8 months. Or
6 to 8
something like
months,
that.
yeah. I think it was more than 6 because we got it in like around September.
Yeah.
Got
Wow.
paid like around March.
It took a while, however long it was.
Yeah.
But that was like another promising, okay, there's something here.
Yep.
Because it's not right now money, but it's later money. But nonetheless, we just took an extremely complicated situation, and we came up with a solution for it. So then I think the next one would have been Chadsford that I sold to you guys.
Nice.
So
That's
I was
crazy.
like thinking, should I bring my laptop in here? I was like, I could just go through it. I don't remember all of them, But then I was like, all right, well, that last year was like, it was so hard. It was, I had so many times where I wanted to get out of the business because it was just, it started to be reminiscent of being in the retail business where I felt like I was spinning my wheels. The amount of energy that I was putting forward was not giving me a proportional return. And so I was like, well, why would I continue to do this? And a lot of it was because the results that I was getting was unpredictable because I wasn't tracking. I was doing random things and getting random results.
Mm-hmm.
And now it happened to be consistent because I was consistently doing random things and therefore getting the results. So I was doing 2 deals a month. But I was paying way too much for my cold callers, which I was using at the time. I was just trying any list that I could think of. But in retrospect, I felt anxiety all the time because I was like, I am spending money and I don't know if it's working. And that went on for like a year.
Wow.
And so I'd have so many of these times because what was happening then is the 2 deals, they were bigger deals. So they were probably, like I think the average was like $15,000 assignments. And so like if one falls through, that's a big deal because that's all like the revenue for the month. And my operating expenses were probably at like 10, which is just ridiculous for like operating expenses at 10,000 when I'm bringing in maybe like $30,000 a month, and that's not consistent. So like realistically, it's probably between 25 and 30.
Mm-hmm.
So that I just felt so stressed all the time, and I was like, is this what this is? But what ended up changing, if we skip way down the road, I learned all those lessons, which every single horrible, scary moment was actually a blessing. Because the way I look at this is I'm not learning about real estate. Like, this is business.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the principles that I take away here, that any of us take away from any lesson that we learn here, can be applied in any industry. And it's not just in business, it's in life too. Like, as we learn leadership skills, it's going to help me with when I raise my kids one day. Like, it's turtles all the way down. Like, everything's connected. So I found a great buyer, though. And I started from the end, and I worked backwards. And so here we are now, without getting to the nitty-gritty, blessed to be given the opportunity to be in an office with you guys. Like, the synergy that we're able to experience from that's been amazing. So, and we're in a really interesting time in the world right now, where it's an interesting time for us to be popping off. So
It is.
I was going to say, we'll go back to one thing for the viewers out there. Don't offer sellers a percentage of the profit. Don't do that.
Yeah.
It's like borderline illegal.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Isn't it called like a novation agreement?
No, it just depends
Oh, yeah, I
on,
guess if you have an
it de-
novation agreement, then that changes things a little
I
bit.
did.
Well, not just that, but also if they're in a foreclosure, I mean, you can offer them whatever. You just have to make sure that they're paying taxes on it, essentially, or like, it's only illegal if they're in foreclosure and you're giving them on the side underneath the table and stuff. It's only illegal if they have a payoff and you're undercutting them to do that and then pay them outside of closing is basically when it's illegal.
That's mortgage fraud. It's still illegal on the back end without a novation agreement or without some other type of agreement. And then just to make sure, like if you ever bring on a private money lender, but they're not technically going to be a private money lender, they're going to get a percentage of your profits. You want to make sure that you form a company and then
just want to make it very clear.
Write that out.
This was actually 11 years ago that this happened.
Yeah.
So we're outside of all the statutes.
So it does get better, which is something that Seth was saying, like as time goes by, you do get better. We saw our average wholesale go from 6,000 to 12,000 to 18,000. I don't even know what our average wholesale is this year, but also gets more predictable, like Seth was saying, with KPIs, tracking your numbers, being more consistent with your CRM and that sort of thing. And then he talked a little bit about things that wholesalers get wrong, which I know is something Dakota probably wants to touch on. One thing is not putting deals under contract for a low enough amount. It's probably the biggest one that we see when people are first getting started in wholesaling.
It still bothers me that freaking mic's right there. Can you move it over? Okay, there we go. Now we can see Louis or Sethy clearly. Actually, what I want to talk about more is like how you guys like got together, because obviously you had like the whole sister thing. You talked about like you were in retail. How did you guys actually like, all right, hey, can you help me get some deals or whatever? Like, how did you guys like do that first one? Because I know I didn't like get a very clear picture. You tell us the story, Louis. Seth talked a lot.
Yeah, so basically I was an electrician and I was listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, Max Maxwell, Peace Morby, Brent Daniels. I even read Rich Dad Poor Dad, like a few chapters, and I got the point.
Chapters. That's why.
I got the point. I was like,
that's why he's wholesaling instead of holding rentals now, because he only read the first couple chapters. Like, oh, real estate, done.
And I was in a position where I knew I wasn't going to grow much, and I was like looking in my environment, and I was like, is this what I want to do? And no, it's not. So I was flipping cars, and I wanted to do something else, and flipping wholesaling houses was the next step.
That was your environment, was flipping cars?
No, that was not my environment. That's just what I guess I was around friends that liked cars, so I liked cars too, and so I was like, okay, I can make money from doing this.
What were you doing?
I was an electrician.
Oh,
but I was
yeah,
flipping
yeah,
cars
yeah.
on the side, and then I was like, I just want to get a side hustle. But then, I don't know, one day he kind of influenced me because I knew he was doing well. I asked him, like, hey, man, you know about wholesaling? This and that.
What convinced you to get your real estate license?
I was very unsuccessful at wholesaling because I had no sales experience, no real estate experience whatsoever. And so I kind of like, I don't know how he did that.
I forgot you even had your license.
I somehow ended up helping Seth with retail. I got my license, and that really helped jumpstart me to where I'm at now.
Yeah, you were showing houses for me.
Yeah, I was showing houses.
Probably like 6 months or something.
Wow.
Speaking with buyers. I was a very shy,
I found that my skills were very translatable.
Yeah.
Extreme. Like, it was an easy transition. The business side of things, no, that's been a learning part. But talking with people, it's the same thing. I'm selling a different thing, though.
Yep.
So
I'll say, yeah, that's exactly how I felt with, like, car sales in general. Is like, it was the same exact thing. It was like, instead of selling, though, now we're buying, but it felt very similar.
That's a better thing to sell.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, like,
give
hey,
you money,
yeah,
please?
we're trying to give you money. Dude, I sometimes tell people that. I'm like, we're trying to give you money here.
Yeah.
And you're saying no, like, come on.
Take my money.
Yeah, exactly. So it is different, but it's very similar. So, yeah, I felt the same way.
Yeah, sales is everything. So it was the, like, invaluable, like the being able to pick up on tone.
Yeah.
Because I think that they're both, there's a lot of emotion involved in both, but I would say, you know, I work with a lot of like landlords and stuff, and there's always emotion, but it's a little bit less. When you're working in the hottest market in the United States history, and you're in like a growing market like we are, and I'm working with mostly first-time home buyers competing with everyone else on the same houses, it's so stressful. And what would happen is if they didn't get the house, like, it was my fault. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, it was always like anything that went wrong, my fault. And so it's just expectation is like, I'm available starting at like 6 a.m. So like answer your freaking phone. And if it's 10 p.m. and we see a house that comes on the market that's perfect, like we need to take action on it now. And so I'd have people that I'd work with for like, I don't know, 4 months. And like we look at houses all the time, but then I just missed my phone that one time and they went and bought it with somebody else. So I didn't get paid. So I was like, I don't have enough control here. And so then the next thing was to explore listings. But that's when the wholesaling came in, and I was, because I was exploring listings and I was actually doing lead gen. I had worked with virtual assistants already in the retail space. And so I was blessed to have like the skills already there. And then also with text blasting, voicemail drops, cold calling, I experienced on all of it. And so it was just like, oh, okay, I'm going to do the same things now, but for something else. And so it was cake.
Wow. Dude, I remember you should made me think of the times I first met both of you guys. So I remember meeting both of you guys. So first I met Seth. I think I met you before I met Luis.
Hyundai, yeah.
Yeah, Hyundai.
Wow.
And you were looking for a Toyota Prius. You came in there, you're like, yeah, man, I want a Prius. And then I think you were working with Mick at the time. And then I think you just got your real estate license. And I was just like, all right, this guy's like very young. I think you were just out of high school, I feel like.
I think I was probably 19 at that time.
Yeah.
I had like 1 month where I sold a few houses and I had like money for the first time ever. And I was like, all right, it's time to go spend it.
Yep.
Like, let's go get cars.
Yep. But dude, that was the first time I met you, and I was like, dude, he seems like kind of shy actually, like for being a salesperson. Like, yeah, I didn't think you were like really outgoing or anything, but like obviously you knew how to talk and stuff. But you're like very specific. Like, I know what I want. I'm like, cool, and I know we don't have it.
It's funny you say that because I've thought about that a lot because it's like an identity crisis I've had where I totally am shy. Like, I am introverted. I don't like being around people. It exhausts me. It is not my natural environment, but I can do it. And so like I rise to the occasion. And so that was one of the challenges I had last year is that if I'm not doing things constantly that refuels me, that makes me feel like I have a massive purpose and like I'm riding that wave, then I'll just crash and burn. And so, because especially, I don't anymore, thankfully I've got help, but I do pretty much every aspect of the business. So like when it comes to the books, when it comes to the marketing, when it comes to the acquisition, when it comes to the disposition. And so like I'm playing all these roles and it involves talking to so many people and maintaining so many relationships. It burned out. And I was like, I hate everyone. And I don't, of course, but like I hate talking to them. So I just short fused for that. But that's interesting though, because there's different people that, like there's some people that, like I don't know about you, but like let's say we're using like Brandon as an example. Yeah. Like that dude, I couldn't get him to sit down for like 3 hours if I needed to. Like he's talking to somebody. Yep. So there's people that feed off of it, and I don't know. I don't think you do. I don't know, but maybe sometimes.
I do all right. Usually, like for the first few hours. I mean, first day. I mean, when we're at future flipper events, like when we're at the Mastermind and stuff, for like the first day and a half, I'm like, this is pretty cool.
You're loving it.
And then like the last day, I'm like, dude, I could have just went without the third day, honestly.
Right?
After 2 days straight of just like talking loudly over music, drinking, and like
ready to go.
Networking with other people, it's like, holy crap. I think it's time to like get some sleep or something. But Dakota can stay out all night.
I mean, I definitely like talking to people, but it just depends on what we're talking about. It's interesting because a lot of people think that I only like to talk about money. And I'm like, nah, I really don't even we don't even talk about money a lot. I do like numbers, and I think it's kind of fun, but I really like to talk about growth and where you're going, like the future. And I think that people...
I've never gotten that.
Yeah.
See, that's interesting you say that because other people probably hear money, and I hear the growth part.
Yeah.
Because I don't ever hear you talking about money. I hear you talking about business challenges.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's what excites you. It's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's usually, I really do like talking about business, and it doesn't have to do with money. It could be any business, too. It doesn't have to be real estate either, but...
Yeah, you're not worshiping money. You're just, like, having fun with the...
It is fun.
Yeah.
It's just like building and then going to the next level, but, yeah. So it is interesting, but I do like to talk to people. So now we got to talk about the first time I met Luisi. Luiski? Did you ever go to the RTA groups, Seth?
1 or 2.
Okay.
And then COVID happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where I met Luis. And then so it was like, I think we were just talking about the other day, 3 years ago, I believe. So we're just sitting there. And then I think we've done like, I don't know, maybe 15 wholesales at the time or something. Like we haven't done a whole lot. And then Luis was just like, came up to me right at the end. He's like, yeah, man, I think I'm going to leave my job and I'm just going to do wholesaling. I'm like, oh, that's awesome, man. How much sales experience do you have? And he's like, oh, no, I don't have any. Okay, cool. No problem, man.
Then I think like immediately after that, Dakota was like, did you see me talking to that guy? I think his name is Luis. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, dude's going to quit his job and go into wholesaling.
Yeah, well, then my next question was, well, how much do you know about real estate? He's like, oh, no, I don't know anything about real estate. I'm like, oh, how did you even end up here? And I was just like, all right, cool, man. Like, I didn't even know what to say to you. Do you remember what did I even say to you?
I don't know. I don't remember, honestly.
Do you remember having the conversation?
Yeah, you were talking to someone about a rental property, their first rental investment, and I kind of like interrupted him. I was like, "Did you really want to talk to Dakota before the night ends?" I see him on social media, on Facebook, and I know he's doing pretty good stuff. And I was like, "Man, I gotta interrupt him. Sorry, buddy." And I was like, "Listen, man, I'm gonna quit my job. I have no sales experience. You asked me. I was like, yeah, I don't, and I'm just gonna figure it out." And yeah.
Dude, talk about the early times and your struggles or like your experiences, like whenever you first started. Like, talk about how that all played out.
I would say I was pretty good at taking action, setting appointments, calling people, giving offers. What I was not good at was negotiating. I think I struggled with that. Sending out contracts too was a struggle for me. One of the most simple tasks. I couldn't even use a PDF filler. I could use Adobe. I sent out my first contract, and there was like a void contract on the agreement.
Oh my gosh.
I still sent it out. I was like, man, I don't know how to do this, and I'm paying for this for every copy that I send. I don't know what I was doing, but I was paying for every copy that I sent, and it was so dumb.
I think you've struggled pretty elegantly though.
Yeah.
Like, cause I've never seen you like actually upset or like worried in like the sky's falling kind of way.
Yeah.
Like, you're always like, I'm gonna figure this out.
Yeah, I'm pretty optimistic.
You're not really worried about it. You're
Yeah.
like, we'll
I'm
get
gonna
it.
figure it out.
We'll get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the funny thing, and that's what I always tell anybody that works for us is like, look, if you mess stuff up, it's going to happen. It is what it is. Like, the main thing here, if you're going to be in this office and you work for us, is I want you to, one, obviously, like, you got to show up and you got to be here. But the main thing is to be positive and willing. That is like 95% of it. If you're positive and willing, guess what? I want you around. Yeah. I don't care what you're doing. We will find something for you to do. Yeah. Whether that's you going and taking photos of a house or whether you're freaking sweeping this office every day. Right. Like, if you're positive and like optimistic, that's the kind of people we want. Because if you're negative, even if you're a freaking closer and stuff, if you're just like draining energy, I don't like, the reason we got into this business is to like be around who we want to be around. For sure. So that's a gift.
I love that you said that, because I've been thinking about something like that lately, because I've got people that are, that are helping us lately, and I'm trying to make sure that they're in the right position. And that was so simple, but that's exactly it. Because it's just that synergy. It's that energy of belief too. Like, everyone in this building knows we can do absolutely anything we want, and not in like a cheesy way. Like, we know we can do anything that we want to, because we're gonna go do the work to get it. It's not like I'm gonna write in my journal 30 times and I'm gonna manifest it. It's like I want to achieve this because this, and this is how I'm gonna do it, and then we go and do it. Like, and sometimes it's messy, but like it's really fun. Like, the amount of growth that everyone has here is freaking amazing.
It is crazy. Yeah. And being around it like shows you more what's possible, and then gets everybody else all hyped up and freaking competition. Yeah, it's
friendly
good.
Friendly
competition.
And collaboration.
Every time I hear that bell ring, I'm like, let me get on the phone.
Oh, geez.
It's exciting though, because I don't know, like, what is it like? I've never talked to you guys before we were over here. It's probably a lot quieter. You probably would get stuff done.
It was good.
Yeah, it was good. Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. No.
Well, we only had that section, so it didn't feel as big.
Yeah, no, it did feel tiny, but it felt very manageable. And now it feels like chaos. And it just feels like there's a lot of stuff going on all the time.
For sure.
And then the only negative that I would say is like the amount, well, not the only negative, one of the negatives would be just like the amount of stuff that we're doing now is like can't get it all organized, but it's a good thing because we're doing so many different things now that's like, holy crap, I can't get this to feel organized and feel straight because we're just doing deals all the time now. So you guys have brought us a lot of deals, and I know it's made us a lot of money, and hopefully we've made you guys a lot of money. So I know it's been good, but man, it's
been worth it.
It's an opportunity to grow right there. Like that's the kind of problem we want, right?
Yeah, no question. I mean, that's what we always talk about. Is like
too much on my plate.
Yeah, you create chaos, and then you figure out how to organize that, and then that expands you, and then now you're able to go do it again.
There's this book called The Third Door. If you've ever heard of it, it's the idea of it is that there's 3 ways to get into a nightclub. You can stand in line at the front, you can be VIP, or you can sneak in through the back window, and that's the third door. And so in this book, he interviewed all these very successful people, and that's the common theme that he found. He was like, what do they all have in common? They forced their way into success. And one of the quotes inside of the book is, I'm going to bite off more than I can chew and figure out how to chew later. And like, that's to a point, because last year I just threw stuff at the wall and was seeing what was sticking, but then I wasn't like going back to actually look if it was sticking. But if like I like bite off more than I can chew and then keep track of everything, then I can be like, okay, this is how I do it. And then move forward and then like, just like leap ahead so much.
Yep.
It gets overwhelming though.
That's what I was gonna say, is finding that balance.
You know that.
Yeah, finding that balance is very difficult, because then like you basically have to say no to making money. You're saying no.
Right.
Like, I mean, you just talked about an opportunity today. Like, hey, let's buy this property in South Bend. Guess what? It'll probably make money. But the stress that I'm gonna incur is not worth any amount of money to make, because we have so much other stuff going on. So that's what we have to like learn now. It's easier, in my opinion, as a wholesaler, just because like, okay, dude, everything's money. Just freaking get it done, and it's not that much.
Luis asked me, he's like, hey, let's do a flip, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like one thing. In fact, I met with Jimmy today, and like we were talking about that. Like one thing. I told him that the book by Gary Keller called The One Thing.
Yep.
Like I didn't read it, but I read the quote inside the front cover, and it said, if you chase 2 rabbits at once, you're gonna catch neither one of them. And I was like, okay, I get the idea. I don't need to read the book. I get it. Because that's like so true. And so. Like we were talking about how it's like pick one thing, go really deep on it, get good at it, master it, and then go wider. It's like, okay, now at the very least I've got this one thing that we're really freaking good at.
Yeah.
But my challenge has been like right now, and I don't have the solution to this yet. Is we've scaled very quickly at Middle America Homes. Like we've got Louise and Nick now in acquisitions. We've got Brennan handling our marketing. We've got our cold callers, and those aren't the difficult part. Is we have Jonathan rather doing transaction coordination, and so it's like keeping everyone happy and making sure we're also hungry, and so like making sure everybody has like enough food to eat, and like making sure everybody's in the right position, and then also trying to track everything. KPIs, I'm still learning, and my coach actually told me to not do as many deals as we're doing right now. And just like you said, like saying no to money. And for me, this is like really difficult because it's like I have a wholesale transaction that should take a very minimal amount of energy, especially compared to a flip. We don't have to worry about utilities and insurance and like the liability of actually owning the property. But yet he still has suggested to me that slow down to speed up, like, get my wits about me and then really speed up. I haven't really been listening. I've been trying to, but like just working on the KPIs and everything. Have you guys experienced anything like that in your business where like maybe you went faster than you thought you should and then you figured it all out?
Are you letting deals fall through the cracks because you don't have good systems in place?
We've been there before, and we've tried several different CRMs, and RE Simply has been the best.
RE Simply tracks your KPIs, does automatic follow-ups for you, and even records your incoming phone calls.
The system is simple to use and has more features than we even know what to do with.
If you're looking for a great CRM, try RE Simply today. We put the link in the description. Check it out now. Yeah, we're still going faster than we probably should.
That's exactly what I mean. We've always been that way, and I'm like, it's basically getting to a point now where it actually scares me. Before it wasn't that scary, you know. We're talking, if everything exploded, we're talking, you know, 500,000 max. Now we're in the point where we're talking a couple million. Like if things go sideways, and like, you know, it's not easy things to figure out. It's like, if everything goes sideways now, we're in a position where there's not very many people that could help us if it did. So I want to be put in a position where basically what we've done is pushed all of our chips in every single time and just doubled and doubled and doubled and doubled. And if you look at what we did this year, we're in May right now. We've already done, right now, this time of the year, we've now done as many deals as we did all of last year. So we're basically just doubling again every single time. But the problem is when you double, obviously you're gambling with a lot bigger stakes, which isn't to say that we can't handle it, because we have obviously hired people and put people in positions, and nothing's fell through the cracks. That's the interesting thing, is that nothing is like slipped or messed up or, oh man, we lost money here because we didn't have enough time or anything. So nothing like that's happened. But I can tell you that I'm here until, I mean, you see it like 7, 8 o'clock every single night, trying to make sure I feel like I can't leave. Nothing's fallen yet, but I would say that it's taking a lot of my stress and energy. And
I mean, and what are we doing all this for if, you know,
Yeah.
you stay here from 8 to 8 and then it blows up?
yeah,
I mean, you'd go do it again, no doubt, but
yeah.
and you'd learn a lot, I'm sure.
Well, the opposite of that too. You were talking about hiring other people, and then I think 10x at 10x GrowthCon they were talking about companies and how many employees they have and the likelihood that they're going to go under. So the companies that had 13 or more employees stuck around longer. And so then we look at what we learned from our RTA Mastermind. One thing that Ed Milet said was, "You guys think that business is about management? I'm here to tell you it's not. You guys think it's about sales? I'm here to tell you that it's not. You think it's about marketing? I'm here to tell you that it's not. It's about scaling." And so he said, in order to fit other people's visions inside of yours, you have to have a dream or a thing that you're reaching towards that's so big that they can see themselves working for you forever. Like that's how you keep employees over a long period of time. So then you have to take both of those ideas, like, hey, don't grow too fast to the point where you sink the business, but also like grow fast enough to, you know, like the 20-somethings that are super impatient, like, are like, dude, we're freaking blowing up. Like, this is great. I'm so glad I'm part of this.
Yeah, literally everything you just said. That, yes. Because that's the thing when my coach tells me to kind of go slow, I'm just looking at it like, but like, I've got all these really talented guys. I want to blow their minds. Because that's one of the things, too, that shifted for me. You know, one of my mentors, Colton Lindsay, says 80% psychological, right? 80% of everything is just like what we believe, right? And then the other 20% is our skills and what we can do. And honestly, if our mindset can go get us those skills. But so what changed for me, though, is to be able to see the people that I'm able to impact just within my organization. Like my virtual assistants, for example, like I'll start there. I pay them a lot. Like they're wealthy over there from my understanding of the currency exchange. I pay them 10% of all gross assignments. So
Wow.
Well, so not gross, like we have a transaction fee, but essentially
Sure.
it's like
That's
almost
a lot.
gross. It's a lot. They make thousands.
That's what Andrew makes.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Rich. Yeah. They're doing well. So they're doing very well, but what that has, like, it makes me so happy. The amount of gratitude that I get from them and when they go above and beyond, and it just is like, that's what I like. And here's the thing, like I might look back on this and like say it, like it was probably a dumb decision, and like I think there's probably like Cody Barton. If Cody knew I was doing this, he'd probably be like, "Why are you doing that?" But it like I love it. Like I love to be able to do it, and I can, and to be able to see like Luis make a ton of money and know that like I helped play a part in that, and be able to see like Nick make money and Brennan make money and Jonathan, and everybody sees these futures and believing in themselves. And what this turns into is, as we all overcome these challenges together, like we now. Like they have that in their Rolodex now. Like they've overcome that challenge, and then hopefully one day in the future, everyone will be able to go do the same thing for somebody else. And like that's how that's the butterfly effect. Is if we create this little bubble of goodness and like heaven and purpose around us, and we spread it to other people, then they go spread it to other people, and like that's how we change the world. And like it seems like super small, but that's why I want to be rich.
Yeah.
Because I can make that bubble bigger. And that's the world I want to live in. Like, it is selfish. Like, I want to live in an awesome world, like a heavenly world where we all want to, love each other. And that's what money can do. So
Sounds like a hippie now.
I
Except
am
for
a
the money
hippie.
part. You're a capitalist hippie. All right, so now I want to talk about, like, we've obviously talked about vision and future and stuff. Luis, where do you see yourself in the future?
Where do I see myself? Definitely flipping properties with Seth.
Flipping? He's like,
Number one.
we're going to be
Flip
flipping.
properties, man.
Okay.
And then I had holding rentals too.
You want rentals?
Yeah.
Oh, you want
Actually,
rentals too,
that's
Seth?
I'm actually like torn because when I buy property now, it's like I just want an asset that's going to appreciate, and I want to not pay taxes.
Okay.
Like, those are my two things. I don't want to manage them. So I don't know. Like, I will have more, like, no doubt. But, like, am I going to have 100? I don't know. Or like, would I just somehow shoot towards, like, commercial or, like, or larger residential? Like, I really was opposed to commercial for a long time, and then I, like, have been thinking about it a lot more, and I'm like, that looks pretty sweet, because if you get the right tenant in there, then, like, I mean, you get the right tenant in there, and the only way that they're disappearing is if the whole global economy blows up, and we'll see that in a couple of months, but... but yeah, so no, I'll have more.
Nice.
I'll have more real
Why
estate.
do you want rentals, Luis?
That's just the next step, I guess.
Next step?
Yeah, we want to be considered investors.
Uh,
Dakota's definition, you have to have 10 rental properties to be an investor. So
I think it's you need 10 rental properties to be considered a housing provider, at which point you are subject to the laws of fair housing, which makes things more complicated for you, which is about the time that you're like, hey, this is getting overwhelming anyways. Let's just hand it over to property management.
So is that when the rules to where, like, if I do one thing to a tenant, it has to be
I'll
across the
Google
board?
it right now, and then I'll get you an answer.
Okay, so we're spreading false information here.
Yeah, as far as I know, mine was just
I've
a
acted
number.
that way now. Like, that's what I only have 2 rentals right now. At one point, I think I had 3 at one time because I live in a duplex and I was renting out the other portion of it, which was great at first, and I didn't like it afterwards. But even I have fantastic tenants. All of them have been fantastic. I still hate doing it. Like,
Wow.
I hate it in that little. And like, so I appreciate what you guys have done. It's incredible. So I already want to be done with it. So.
Yeah, my 10 was just a number because I was thinking, I was like, dude, if you own less than 10 rentals and you call yourself an investor, to me, I'm just like, I don't know.
You don't need to manage it though, right? So like,
No.
Was that a huge shift for you guys when you stopped managing them?
Oh yeah.
Was there a mental thing too? Like,
Oh, dude, the mental thing is the whole reason we did it was because the mental strain was ridiculous.
Did you think you had to though? Like, did you think it was worth the
Oh,
not
yeah.
paying the fees beforehand? You're
Yeah.
like, oh, we're saving money. Like, we're
Yeah.
saving, but then you realize that you're actually making money.
Correct, yeah.
See, that's what I want to do. Like, I'll buy more properties. I'll have somebody else deal with it.
Yep. Well, it was nice. It was nice learning it, figuring out like how it goes. Like, okay, like Tony did all the screening, like getting the people over there, meeting them, like doing all of that stuff. Then we saw the property management, like getting the people to go over there to fix stuff. Like, we saw everything firsthand, and then it helped us to pick a great property management company because then, like, we already knew who was going to handle stuff, and we've had some experience with different property management companies, and, dude, we found, like, the best one, and so now they manage our properties, and, yeah.
I'm really thankful for you guys doing that, too, so I can just, like, copy and just watch what you did, so.
Yeah, it's way easier.
I did. Like, everything that I did with my initial tenants, I had conversations with Tony, and he answered all of my questions, and that's the reason why I've had such good luck, is because I've done everything you told me to.
Yep.
Like, it's not luck, I guess, right? We actually are buying. We're potentially in 3 weeks going to buy a package of 6 in South Bend. Seller
we're
financing.
partnering on those.
Oh.
Yeah.
You guys, yeah.
I don't know. He says he doesn't want to buy anything, man.
I'll just bring him to Jordan.
Well, if it's seller finance. All right, let's get the camera off, Luis. No, if it's seller finance, I'd be interested, but we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, wait. He'd be interested in free money.
Yeah, I'd be interested. I'd be interested. But dude, again, it's not about the money. It's the mental strain for me. So like there's money, but like I mean, we're talking about if it's split, let's just say 3 ways, then we're talking 33%. And if it takes any of my strain, then is that worth it? And
We've got to look at. We don't have any property manager lined up.
Exactly.
Either. Yeah.
Exactly. So then I'm like, do I want to be a part of that? I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing.
But we
is
see with the optimism.
I don't even know if that's something that I'd want to end up holding. So I think no doubt we'll buy it because it's a great opportunity. How long do we keep it? I don't know. And are we going to keep all of them? More than likely not. We'll probably sell some of them.
Right.
And then make sure because free houses and make some money. Okay.
Yep. So Luisi, you got flipping, you got rentals. What else, man? What else? What else are you thinking?
Just scaling this baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How many deals do you think that you bring in, and then how many deals are you trying to do, and do you have you thought about that at all?
Honestly, I don't even track that.
You don't.
Seth's tracking it. That's his job.
How many does he do?
6 last month, I believe. Yeah. He's trending upwards significantly.
Wow.
I want to say that we had 16 offers accepted last month, and we closed 10 contracts. 2 of the properties we ended up restructuring, and we're going to include it in the package of 6 or 7. Actually, 7, isn't it? So it's 7 properties. So we're going to restructure in that, and it was actually the seller's idea to offer to do seller financing. I think he had a great experience with us on previous deals that we did, so he was up for it. So how many contracts? I don't know how many contracts you got. You got more than 6 though.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, he's a murderer. That's the thing. Like if there's anything that he can do is he's really good at talking to people. And it's because he's a good dude too.
Yeah.
You're
I enjoy learning about different personality styles and.
You're genuinely a good guy though. You're genuinely a really good guy, and you're not gonna screw anybody over.
Thanks, man.
And that's so important too.
Yeah, actually wanting the best for the people.
Yeah, well, I mean, people around,
oh sure,
do the people in my organization have values that align with mine?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I was, insanely, if I had all the money in the world and
then you'd be a wealthy girl.
I don't want to gain the whole world and lose my soul. Is a Christian song. And
yeah,
I'd have no desire. Like money is not anything.
Yeah,
money is not the point. It is not.
Mm-hmm.
So in the immediate future, Luis needs to get his Nissan GTR tuned. He just got a brand new Nissan GTR. It's like burnt orange. I took it out. It's pretty dang quick. It's just starting to cut off around the 5,500 RPM mark. So
I'll say his goals for him. I would anticipate that he's probably going to be around 8 to 10, between 8 and 10.
Yeah.
Within the next, he should have 8 to 10 this month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just with Elton's properties. Well, yeah.
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 But we're not going to include those. Those don't count.
Those are extra.
We're talking about wholesale.
Those are just bonus.
Yeah. You got to keep it going.
Yeah, for sure.
So 8 to 10.
So flips, rentals, scaling this bad boy. I really would love for us to get a bigger office because I really love working with you guys, and I feel like you guys do enjoy it too.
Mm-hmm.
But we could both grow our companies bigger, rent this out to someone else or something.
Dude, do you know how much all this padding and stuff costs?
Well, dude, I'll get you.
I've been buying one
deals.
section.
Yes.
It'll make up for it. The amount of deals I bring you guys.
That's what he says every time. He's like, all right, we'll just bring you deals and you can buy a 350Z. I'm like, I don't think that works.
I'll bring you 3 deals, and I can have free ghost drinks for the rest of the month.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot about that. I forgot. we made that deal that we'll buy the energy drinks as long as you bring us a minimum of 3 deals a month because we're making up money.
That margin makes a little bit more sense than the car or the building.
Yeah.
You got to bring him 300 deals, and then he'll go buy a Z.
Exactly.
A GTR. If I bring you 300, you'll buy a GTR.
300 deals, I would consider a 350Z.
$50 profit.
Yeah.
$50 net revenue.
We would never even, we'd never even do that. We'd be so scared.
We've looked at potential places to host events and whatnot because we'd like to get our own real estate investors association going. And we've been looking at places. There's one place that's super cool, but it's just man, I don't know if this right now, this exact time is the right time to buy a building, to hold events and that sort of thing. And then I look at Union 12 and MBN. I'm like, man, maybe we should build one. But then that's stupid expensive too. I mean, the financing would be better, but it's still incredibly expensive to start something from nothing. So
we have some serious, like, after we're done here, we really need to talk. Like, there are some contacts that I 100% believe if you got on the phone with them, you would have access to new funds, like, and new opportunities. You need to speak with them. Like,
millions and millions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because I just think you guys would, you'd vibe. Because here's the thing, when I talk to you guys are doers. Like, so you mean what you say, and you know what you're talking about. And so anybody who hears you is going to pick the same thing up if they know what they're looking at, right? Like, and you're also so freaking conservative. Like, that was the worst thing when I was bringing you deals last year. I sold them a deal for like $1,000 assignment, and I was like, cost me more to get the deal. And I was so excited. I was like, oh, I've got a good deal. I'm going to bring it to. It wasn't that great, but I'm going to bring it to them. And I could have sold it to someone else for more, though, for sure. But you guys are conservative, and that's why you're going to be successful.
Did you guys make like
even more
$8,000 or something on that?
Eight. But guys, like, I don't think you understand the risk whenever you close on them. Like, I mean, we've
I
lost.
was in a flood zone. Like,
I was in a flood zone. So,
a
like,
turd.
what we look at is, like, we look at the risk that we're taking, and is the reward worth the risk? And, like, on that one, I mean, it wasn't a huge risk because obviously, worst case scenario, we pull a mortgage on it, we get it as a rental. But, like, even now, when we look at the way that the banks are, like, being very conservative, like, they're starting to pull back. So now it's like we don't have much of a backup plan anymore to, like, just pull a mortgage on it. We basically have to line up more private money who would lend us at a lower rate or something. So we are pretty conservative, I would say. But
that's good.
Yeah, we don't like to lose money.
You're educated.
Yeah,
you're logical. You make intelligent decisions.
Yeah, we try.
Well, another thing too is so I wanted to go into rentals just a little bit. I don't know. I saw this on Instagram and it supports my opinion, so I'm going to say it. It was like the average American home by the year 2050, if inflation continues at the rate that it is, it's 1.3 million. And so maybe here in the Midwest, it's $500,000. But if you buy something now, interest rates are going up, but like we still had property at 6% and somebody else pays it down. It's like in 30 years, that's $1 million a house. So $500,000 a house here in the Midwest. It's like you own 10 houses, you're going to have access to $5 million, which is pretty cool.
You 2 loaves of bread.
Yeah.
Only 2 easies.
Yeah. That is one way to look at it.
And pay less in taxes.
Yeah, the taxes is the big thing. So that's really why we hold rentals is like you said, you want to be able to make some money and then have a way to shelter your income because obviously whenever you're wholesaling, flipping, we talked about it's all short-term capital gains.
You're getting richer. It just doesn't feel like it because other people are paying your debt down.
Yep.
When you just make sure you have your spreadsheet, right? You got your spreadsheet, managing your net worth, and it's so exciting every time. I can't imagine for you guys, like, I have very few properties. You have quite a few properties, so it's like just rapidly, like each one of those payments, like adding onto the equity each month, right? Like,
yeah.
Well, we're so conservative, we just kind of leave all the numbers where they're at and then adjust them later.
I'm broke. Yeah.
I did just change them to about 5,000 to 10,000 below what I think they're actually worth, but I did change them because before I just kept them all for the appraised value.
From 3 years ago?
Yeah, from 3 years ago. So I kept everything as the appraised, and it was like, man, we know for sure that these are worth like double. So I just kind of adjust them. But I do like to be very conservative. And then the main thing is, like, if you don't feel like you actually have very much money, like, obviously you work a little bit harder. So I kind of like manipulate myself. It's kind of like spreading out your money in different bank accounts. Like, it's better to spread it out than it is to have it all in one because then you feel like you have less money. So then you feel like you got to work a little bit harder. And like you're kind of tricking your own brain. Whenever you see like a bunch of money in the bank, you feel like, oh man, we're going to be good. I can just chill out. Like, that's just a human instinct. And so we don't really do that. We don't got any money in one of the bank accounts. So we just stay broke. That's what Grant Cardone says. Stay broke with investments. Not GTRs, Louis C. That's what I'm trying to explain to him.
Oh, man.
He knows. He just didn't read that part of Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah, you need to read Rich Dad Poor Dad, bro. You get through that book.
The thing I'm extremely excited about is real estate for me is just like a leap pad.
Mhm.
So I'm so excited to get into other aspects of business because I guess, I don't know, it's never been like a thing that real estate's interesting. It's amazing. The people, like I'm sure you guys can attest, is there an industry that's like has so many amazing people in it that you can think of? Is there one?
I don't know. Dakota's been on the phone with a lot of realtors lately, so buyers realtors.
Look, we're not talking about realtors.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is the only industry that I've really been in. I mean, I've been in car sales, and
How are those people?
I think yeah, they're different. They I would say they're very I would say they definitely strive after money. Which is they're very money motivated.
I know it's like a scarcity mindset, and by that I mean like I have to steal from him because there's not enough for all of us.
Yeah.
And so a lot quicker to screw people over, and that still happens in this industry, but I think it's a little bit less.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so with investors. I think that investors, though, are more freedom focused, and I think that car salespeople are more money focused. But I think that dude, people think car salespeople are shady. I'm here to tell you that they're not as shady as you think, honestly. Like, the way that the internet is these days, like, dude, there's always ways that you can manipulate things. And, like, yes, they're doing some things that, like, you know, make you feel good and stuff, but like, dude, that's sales in general. Every kind of sales, like, you do that, and like, you make sure the person still feels good about the transaction. There's tricks to do that, but like, you can't say a whole bunch of lies and get away with it anymore because, like, dude, everything is so easy to access. So people aren't as shady as you think. But I will say that, like, there's tricks in car sales, there's tricks in real estate, and I see that people do them in both. I think the people that you associate yourself with are probably doing the more ethical things, and I think that's what you're seeing. But there's definitely a lot of shady investors too.
I know that, and that's probably a great point. It's the people that I'm around.
Yep.
Because that's not an accident. I had like this little joke about like a blacklist.
Yep.
Of I hear or experience one bad thing that's shady from people, and it's just like, okay, like, no more interacting with those people.
Do you have them in your phone?
No.
I have. I actually
an actual blacklist.
Yeah, I actually have a blacklist now from real estate agents because they really do make me that upset. Like,
yeah, no, mine's just mental. I have real estate agents too, or I'm just like, avoid that person at all costs. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know.
You want to drop all their names? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, let's cut that clip and put it up as the Instagram clip.
So-and-so.
Just put their names up there as it's popping up on the screen.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just enough to go around.
Yeah, but no, I think the people that you're around are probably like, you know, there's definitely a great group of people in real estate. There's no question. Like, those people, like, that are searching after freedom and that really try to care about other people and help other people. Like, dude, there's a lot of people in our community. Drew Wired, Jay Redding has been very influential to us and like try to help us. So Adam Garrig,
Colin Young just reached out to.
Yeah,
maybe the better word is visibility then.
Yeah,
because they're definitely there, and I've experienced them, and I've heard about the things that they've done, and I have, you know, people who have had certain things that are just totally wrong, like taking advantage of like that thing with the title to that lot with the junk house that your mom bought.
Yeah,
that, like, horrible, like, that is crooked. So it's there, but it seems like there's a high level of visibility.
Yeah,
like the RIA group, like, that is so accessible to anybody.
Right.
On Facebook, you just go on there. That's crazy, and it seems like most markets have that.
Yeah.
Like, they have a version of it, and they're not all quite as great. I think we have one that's really amazing here in Fort Wayne, it seems.
Yep.
Just the amount of support, even if people are asking stupid questions, like, people are there for it. Like,
yep. Yeah, so I guess real estate is a great industry for, like, you know, helping people, at least especially in this area. Like, we really do try to help people. Whereas car sales is definitely more
there's not a Facebook
competitive.
Group you go join, right?
Yeah. Well, there is some. Yeah, there's some that
are they
like
supportive like that?
Yeah.
I guess they could be, yeah.
Yeah, they are. It feels more like sports though, you know. It's like sports and like it's just competitive, man. I mean, same thing with real estate though. Like to me, it feels a little bit like sports, and like some teams are going to be cool, some teams are not.
Right.
And like it just depends on if you have a relationship with that team. Like, there's some teams that have alliances and they're cool with each other. There's some teams that hate each other.
Right.
And yeah, that's what it feels like to me. So it's like friendly competition. We're all in competition, but it depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense.
So, you want to wrap this up?
Yep.
The last question we always ask everybody
Last question, final question.
is 70 years from now, 75 years from now, you're dying. You're on your deathbed. You have a final message to the world. It could be a billboard, it could be a sentence, it could be a paragraph, it could be a mantra, but it's your legacy, something that you're going to leave behind. People, like your message that you think people need to hear.
Luis, go first.
Dude, it's kind of corny, but loves the answer. Yeah.
Love is the answer.
Oh, yeah.
You want to elaborate on it, or you want to leave it at that?
Just lead people with love, have good intentions,
I like it.
love your friends, love your family, people you work with. Yeah, just be of help, and you'll receive the help, I think.
Love the energy drinks.
Love the energy drinks, dude. Yes.
Sethi?
I love Xi Jinping.
That was so deep.
I'm just joking.
Buy a GTR.
I'm just like, it's 75 years from now. So I'm just trying to make sure my family doesn't get sent to the internment camps. No, same thing. Same thing. If we're here in 75 years, love's always the answer. So, otherwise, like love and forgiveness, and
Love yourself.
yeah, not getting caught up. I don't know.
What is love
I'll
yourself?
probably be, I don't know. 75 years. Can't see it.
Can't see it?
105. How old are you?
23.
Oh my gosh, I thought you were 35.
37.
35.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My hair tricks. Yeah, no, I don't know. I can't see 75 years from now. It's
We're gonna look just the same probably with the new technology they're coming out with.
in the Matrix.
Playing ping pong.
Who usually wins at ping pong, Luisi?
Dude, lately it's been you. But before he left for his trip to Cancun, when he came back, I was dominating him.
He was just there at a camp, at a ping pong camp.
No, I should be. I need to go lessons. Like, we're about to be gone for like 2 weeks. I should just go and like get lessons the whole time, come back and just freaking smash.
Boom.
That'd be hilarious.
Demolish.
Dakota just hires like a coach for a month. It's just like a USA ping pong
What's the business to the side?
champ.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a month off. Like,
Yeah.
just come back. No one will ever beat me in ping pong ever again.
I could see it. Well, thank you guys for coming on. Thanks for telling your story. Sorry, Luis, you didn't get to talk much. Seth, no, I'm just kidding.
How
Seth
can,
is a talker. He knows a lot.
how can people get a hold of you?
Don't.
Don't.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, Luis, what's your Instagram?
Follow me on Instagram. It's Luis, Luis, 2 S's, Benitez, Benitez. Add me on Facebook. If you want to call me, please don't.
Call me, beat me.
MiddleAmericaHomes.com. You can go on there and fill out a contact form.
For a cash offer.
Yeah, make sure that you leave something important. And just so you know, we are running a special this month. If you bring us any offer from LTD, we will pay $1,000 more. So,
And then they're gonna try to wholesale it back to us for another $1,000.
What's so funny though, we all of the offers that we make for the most part, if we think that, like, Dakota's really good at sniffing it out, he'll be like, yeah, if you're just going to use us to go shop us, then like,
oh yeah,
let us know
So
after
important.
somebody else gives you an offer, because we're not,
I like that.
we
You're
don't-
telling them like,
yeah,
bring
let
us
us
their
be,
offer.
Yeah.
let us be the second person,
I
because
like
it's
that.
so much easier to be the second person.
Wow.
So basically, I just ask him. Here's a little closing thing for you. I've taught Luis some closes, and he's been using them.
Closer now.
Yeah, he's been using them to make some money. So that is one benefit. I want to actually say, and then remind me of this story that I was about to tell. But one benefit of working with us and like bringing us deals and stuff is like you get to hear the process. You get to hear what we say to these people. You get to hear how we analyze. You get to actually walk through it. And so sure, that deal might have cost you $10,000, $15,000 that we split and you still make that. But at the same time, like the skills that you learn, now Luis doesn't need me anymore. So guess what? He's not bringing as many deals because he learned what I said and he's using it to make him way more money. And so that's what we always look for is like, yes, it costs a little bit of money, but it's also a teaching experience. One close that I always use or like say to the people, I was like, hey, so if we're able to offer you the right amount of money, are you ready to make a decision now? And just ask them straight up, like we already went through it, we walked through it. If I give you the right number and you get exactly what you're hoping for, are you ready to move forward? If they say no, then like it's like, okay, like you got to, first of all, you got to test and make sure that's actually accurate because sometimes people say no, even if they are ready to go, and you got to still like kind of push it through and like overcome their objections. Okay, why not? Oh, I got this person. Okay, I mean, you're saying even if we got you the right price and we're buying it as is and we're buying it cash, you still wouldn't do it without them looking at it? Nope, we'll have them look at it. That's what I'm like, cool, have them look at it then and we'll give you a number. So little closing tip for you guys and for you guys, the listeners. Don't use that against me unless you bring us a wholesale deal.
Is there anything else you guys want to say to our viewers?
Bring your deals to LTD.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't answer, if they're too busy, call us.
Our phone number redirects.
Okay, our phone number, all right, I'll give you guys my office work number. It is 260-277-7617.
Create a bunch of Craigslist ads with Geo Metros and Honda Civics for $1.
Men seeking men.
Oh my
Men
God.
seeking men ads.
Did I
You are singing. No, just kidding.
I was talking to Seth or Luis today, and I was like, "Dude, you look like Robert Kiyosaki right now with those glasses."
Oh man,
I was like, he looks just like Robert Kiyosaki. That's what you're gonna. That's what he's gonna be 75 years from now. He's gonna be Robert Kiyosaki.
No, I don't know.
No, I'm just kidding. He's not exactly a nice guy. He's kind of not very nice in interviews, but no, I've just seen him in interviews, and like one time he's like, I don't like the way this interview's going. I don't want to do this anymore, and just like got all like, I don't know, he got crazy, and I was like, dang. He's like, do you actually want to listen or learn? Then like, shut up and listen. And like, I'm here. You're supposed to be interviewing me. And like, I was like, geez, dude, like he's a little interesting.
a little aggressive.
Yeah, he's aggressive. But thank you guys for coming on. Appreciate you guys renting the office space from us. See you guys next time. Peace.